Hi guys, this is Unders. Today we're going to have a look at Native Instruments Monark and making lead and Reese type sounds with it. Things that we can use for big long notes as well as quick stabs. And a little bit of programming in Monark and how that works. Now if you want to be super lazy, I've made the presets available from this session I've got here open, available for download. You can go and click description, download those and have a play with them like that. However, if you want to learn a little something, we are going to reset this particular patch, which was the wah rip patch from the ones you can download, and we're going to remake it. I'm just going to explain why we do what we do to make this sound as we go along, because that will be fun and we're all audio geeks and that's what we like to do, right? So let's get into it. Okay, so we've initialized Monark. This is the default that loads up. It's just a blank Monark patch. So it's on the square wave -32, the octave was +1. Now for the patch that we were using, so that I can play middle octave, we drop this right down to the second octave here on the left. That's going to give a really low down sound, but you'll see how we get the more upper leady Reese type sound going on in a bit. So the range here as part of oscillator 1, we push up to 8. That's going to make a big change already. It just gives us that fat square sound. If we carry on over here on the control on the left, I changed from the glide to the silver. And we've pushed that up around here, somewhere around there, to give quite a long glide time between the decay of the notes. We also need to push the modulation all the way up here, and it's just going to sit up there, and we're going to route that over here on the filter and amp section later, and you'll see why it sits right up there. We need to make sure this stays on always, because it's always going to glide between notes, not just legato. So mod over here on oscillator 1 needs to be on, and that's going to be linked to this parameter over here, which is oscillator 3, and it's always pushed on. Oscillator 2 needs to go to 8 as well, and we're going to put that on the triangle as well. That should be on saw, that should be on saw. And we're going to detune this ever so slightly. Now Monarch, if you double click, it will snap right into the middle. You can push this tiny amounts. If we listen, if we actually activate that one, so that's them perfectly in sync. We want to push it just so it's a tiny bit out and they start phasing and giving us that ripping saw sound. We'll go with about there from now. So that's both on 8, both on saw. This one moved a tiny little bit and the mod switched on. We're going to put key tracking on here, and this needs to be on 16, so we're going 1 octave below what's going on here, and we need to bring this into the middle, and we're going to go for a rapid pulse width modulation here. So all of these oscillators need to be on, they're all going to be maxed out. The load needs to go just a bit past the center, so it's sort of pointing in at the A. When we hit this, it won't quite go on for here. You can see the sound was starting to build up now. Okay, feedback's going to go on, and feedback pushing about half. It needs to be on mode B. It should be on B by default. Around there. Okay. Now over here we go from to low pass 2. Low pass 2 is a 12 dB cutoff, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to bring the cutoff right the way around to around here. The key factors here are going to be the contour. That's what really changes the sound. So we need to push the resonance up just a touch here. The contour is going to go all the way around to here. Need the second level of key tracking on down here, and we're going to put mod on here. Now that mod's going on here and being controlled by oscillator 3, which is pushed fully on. That's where the contour really comes into play. So if we switch it off, really boring dull tone, switch it on. Now the last couple of bits we need to do, we need to have release tied on for both. Attack is going to go up to around the 200 millisecond marker. The decay is going to be sat in between the 2 and 600. You have to play around with that. It's a huge range for that little bit. It's quite annoying, but that's how the Moogle was. So we'll have that like that. And sustain, just a tiny little push up. These guys a little bit similar. We're going just above 10. We're going just below 200-ish, and about 2/3 of the way around here. That gives us a nice easy little Reese sound. Now if you flip over Monarch, you've got some bits on the back as well. One of the things we need to look at doing is swapping it to setting 2. And it's going to change the legato priority, and that gives us the sort of sounds that we need. That's it. Really easy patch to make. There is a bunch more. For you to download in the pack. That is completely free. If you go to warriorsound.co.uk, which will be linked in this video, there is a link at the top that says free samples. Click on there and you'll be able to download these patches and use them. Now there's one last thing that makes this sound really magic. I've got this set up to bus 2 here. If we put that all the way on, now when we hit notes, they sound huge and awesome. Now the way I did that was making this mono synth split into 2 channels and become stereo. I will link the video of how to do that at the end of this one. Thank you very much guys. I hope you enjoy your free presets. Peace.